This is the Bull Armory UL Comp. This has been my carry gun for about 2 years now. It's fast, it's reliable. This thing has never let me down. But Bull Armory decided to discontinue this, which sucks because I would probably buy another 10 of them. I honestly like this thing that much. So when I found out that Bull was discontinuing this and coming out with a pro model, I gotta say I was a little disappointed and naturally just wanted to hate this thing. But after about 2 mags through this thing, I might just have a new carry gun. So today on PewView, we're gonna put these things head to head and see which one is gonna end up being my new carry gun. All right, so first things first. Of course, we gotta start with some drills. So for this test, we're gonna put these head to head. I'm gonna run the same drills. Both of these guns are gonna have the same light. I'm gonna have to keep switching this light back and forth because the holster is made for it. Both of these guns are running the same Holosun EPS carry red dot. Same ammunition. We're of course gonna use the regular training ammo and then we're gonna switch over to my carry ammo. Both of them. We're gonna start with the UL Comp just because it's already got the light on it. We're gonna start with a build drill on the timer with a sweatshirt. I live in Iowa, so typically most of the time I have a hoodie on. Freedom is disappearing fast. The freedom to protect yourself or even to control your own money. The system's grip is tightening fast and their favorite weapon, debt. Crippling, soul-crushing debt. What he said, if you're buried in credit card debt, loans, or medical bills, you're not in control anymore. The banks are. But smart people aren't waiting around anymore. They're taking control with PDS Debt, a trusted debt solution that has helped tens of thousands of people take back their future. PDS Debt goes beyond the numbers and looks at your personal financial situation to help get a plan best fit for you. There's no minimum credit score required. They're here to help you save money, pay off your debts faster, and put money back in your pocket where it belongs. PDS Debt is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, has hundreds of 5-star reviews on Google, and they hold a 5-star rating on Trustpilot. Why? Probably because they've helped tens of thousands of people get out of their debt. Have you guys seen the amount of guns I have? Debt sucks. You were 30 seconds away from being debt-free. So if you want to give it a try, go to pdsdebt.com/PewView to get started today. That is pdsdebt.com/PewView or hit the link in the description below. Give it a shot. What do you got to lose? Anyways, let's go shoot some shit. All right, we're going to go with a C-zone steel plate just because it's a little bit closer to the A-zone. On the timer with a sweatshirt. That was 7, it was a 178. 6 was at a 165. I'll switch over to the Pro and do the same thing. Fuck is this grip? Gotta go 7 with that one too, right? 191. 178. So in our initial test of doing the build drill from concealment, I gotta say, I am so used to the UL Comp, I have ran probably close to 10,000 rounds through this thing. So it felt a little more natural to get it out of concealment on target a little bit quicker than I could with this one. This trigger being a little more broken, it is definitely a little bit quicker. But obviously they're the same thing, they're both breaking right around 3 to 3.5 pounds. But I think the times were pretty similar. Maybe this one's a little bit quicker to get out of the holster because it is a little bit shorter. The grip texture makes it so I don't have to re-grip as often. It's easier to hold on target with this thing than it is with this. All right, test number 2. There is now 2 guys trying to steal my purse. Double tap each one of these big ones right here on the timer from concealment. $157. 149. 135, 142. So what I'm noticing is that I, of course, am very used to the UL Comp, but the grip on the other one is so much better that when I'm grabbing it, I don't feel myself having to readjust as I'm doing transitions. The new grip is 110% better than the smooth old one, but I've shot this so many times, it feels natural to point it. So I feel like the times are gonna be a little bit faster just because I've ran these drills with this gun so many damn times. All right. 1 shot on the target from concealment. 7, 8. 8-0. 7-4. Now we got the light switched over to the Bull Armory Pro. Same thing. 0.80. 0.84. 84. All right, same drills with the T-shirt, start with the bill drill. Got the Pro on me. I was like, did I get 5? Just squeeze another one off. 166. $172. All right, 1 round from concealment. 81. 89. 92. Pretty similar. Too bad, guys. $145. 147. All right, build drill, switching over to the UL comp. $172. 164. 77. 161. 145. So again, I'm running into a lot of pros and cons here. Then we backed up to 100 yards. All right, we're at 100 yards. Gonna start with the Pro. See how many of the 15 can land. And I missed quite a few with the UL comp. Again, this does have 10,000 rounds through it. I don't clean my guns. The barrel is probably foul as shit if we're being honest. But even still, with a 3.25 inch barrel and still getting 80% hits at 100 yards is pretty incredible for a carry gun. So regardless, pretty damn happy with the both of them. But again, this is taking it. All right, super good accuracy test. I'm just gonna do a 5-shot group at about 10 yards just to see the difference between a comp and a port. Because in my experience, ports have been less accurate. All right, 5 shots. UL comp up first. Now this is me taking my time. I'm gonna double tap it a few times just so we can see the return to 0, and then we'll switch over to the Pro. Pretty inconsistent on that second shot, but I had one that was pretty close. And then this is a follow-up, and this was a follow-up. So still, long, that's perfectly acceptable for a carry gun, I'd say. All right, now I'm gonna poke some holes in it. I gotta tell you, wouldn't wanna be that guy. Now let's switch over to the Pro and see what that can do. So it's opening up. I want to keep setting them in the same spot. Maybe that's just me on a newer trigger. Quite a bit more than 5 shots, but again, carry gun, that'll do. Let's try some double taps. What do you think, better or worse?
I think it's gonna be better.
Do you?
Yeah.
They were both low. That was weird. I mean, it's consistent, and that's pretty good. So first went in this hole, and second went low. So it's overdriving. Let's try a couple more. I absolutely fucking threw this one. That one's on me. This is where the first shot, and then my follow-up, and then I loosened my grip a little bit, and the follow-up was going high. Then when I had a tight grip and mag dumped, they were all in this hole. I think this is probably better than the UL comp for double taps and mag dumping, correct? Let's say the pro got it. So for the accuracy test, I think this is taking it. I think we've seen a little bit better groups, especially when it comes to the double taps and the mag dumps. I think this was staying a little bit more consistent than the compensated was, which again, I thought this was gonna take that. But again, when it comes to speed, this is faster for me. It feels more natural to point it out and just mag dump. I don't have to stare at that red dot the entire time. I feel like I got a more natural point of aim just because it's a longer slide and I can feel it a little bit better, if that makes any sense. So when I was doing quicker transitions, I feel like this tracks better. All right, now we got 10 rounds of Federal HST in here just so I can feel the recoil impulse of carry ammunition. And then we're gonna switch over to Simex, both the UL comp and the pro. All right, now we got the Simex. That stuff is fucking crazy, dude. It's like super snappy and loud and violent, but the felt recoil is next to nothing. Then things are going over 2,000 feet per second. All right, 10 rounds, Federal HST. Definitely less controllable with this one. Now we're switching over to Simex. So with the hotter ammunition, it seems that comps typically like the hotter stuff a little bit better, helps drive it more. Although this was a little bit snappier, the return to zero was still 110% fucking awesome. So I guess that's kind of user preference. For the carry ammo, I would say I prefer this a little bit. Now it is more loud and you get a little bit more flash. For the people that matters to, I'm not one of them. It doesn't really bother me, but got to go with this for carry ammo. So as I said on the range with the defensive ammo, I think this takes it. The compensated was a little softer to shoot than this, but then again, the return to zero, it didn't make that much of a difference. I could have my follow-up shot just as fast with both guns. So at the end of the day, I think it's going to be user preference. People that have this gun already, you don't need to go change that for this. I think this is more than capable. I think if you already have this, you're going to be extremely satisfied. And if you try to buy this, I don't see you changing from this to this. Unless you wanted a smaller carry option, this is definitely a smaller package. It's easier to conceal. Now, if you don't have either of these, I would definitely suggest trying one of these. They're decently priced, and I don't think there's a better carry gun on the market than this currently. Now, I do try to change up my carry guns every now and then. I carry a SIG 365. I've been enjoying that little Bodyguard 380, if we're being honest, that thing's fucking awesome. But if I'm going somewhere with a higher risk and I want a rig with an extra magazine and a faster, more capable gun, one of these is gonna be it. But this wasn't supposed to be like an in-depth review. I genuinely may consider this as a new EDC, and I know people on YouTube love to see what everybody else is carrying it, and honestly, I'm the same way. I still got all the same stuff in my pockets, I'm just possibly changing my gun. I am gonna be carrying this for a while. I'm gonna see how it feels. I think it's gonna be a little more comfortable than this because it is a little bit shorter. I think shootability wise, it is just as capable, if not better in some circumstances than this. This thing is very fast, it is reliable, it's accurate. I love everything about these ultralights. They do have an unported version of the same exact thing. If you guys don't prefer ports on your guns, go check that out. But I did find out something pretty damn cool. Come here once. So typically with ports, it gets very dirty. Your whole barrel will turn black and it'll start carbon buildup, and then eventually it'll cause malfunctions. Bolt Armory thought of something pretty damn cool. So Bolt Armory came up with their own little thing right here. It's essentially got a channel where all that carbon buildup can go and everything else is absolutely clean. Where it locks up at the end of the barrel, underneath of the barrel, it's just its own little cutout and only this spot is getting dirty. I just think that's a really cool feature. If your carry gun is gonna get dirty, you don't have to worry about it malfunctioning with that little feature. I don't know if they did that on purpose or if it's cosmetic, I don't know, but it seems to be working exactly like I explained, which time will tell. When I have 10,000 rounds through this one without cleaning it, we're gonna see how good it runs. Because like I said, all I've ever done is add lube to this. I have still never cleaned this just because I want to see the point of malfunction, which is a pretty bold move to do on a carry gun, if we're being honest. That's not very smart. I wouldn't recommend it, but I'm a YouTuber. I gotta push the guns to the limit so I can let you guys know what the fail point is. So, I'm not gonna be any nicer to this gun. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna run it and then find where it fails. Yeah, when this little groove is absolutely packed full of shit, the ports are no longer porting. So, conclusion, I don't know, what do you guys think? Should I be carrying this or should I stick with a UL comp? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.